How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Old School Weekly Recap. Let's take a look back at the past 7 days. In this week's game update, the Wise Old Man's Quest item cleaning service has been drastically improved. He now offers the ability to clear all useless quest items from your bank, including members items. Also, the maximum zoom distance has been increased. The mobile spellbook rework, which allows you to filter out spells, increasing the size of icons as fewer spells are shown, has now been released. On top of this, the size of the special attack bar and the buttons on the deposit box interface have also been increased for mobile. With just a couple of weeks until the full launch of Old School Mobile, now is the time to pre-register and make sure you get your reviews in on the Play Store. Remember, the more reviews the app receives, the more full granite-wielding champions you will encounter in-game. A link to the Play Store page and the full details of this week's update can be found in the description. Over the weekend, RuneFest took place, and the Old School team made some big announcements for content coming in the next year. They spoke about the Kebos Lowlands, a new expansion to Zaya. The Lowlands will include new quests, the Farming Guild, a new Slayer Master offering area-specific tasks, a new achievement diary, and much more. Since RuneFest, a very detailed developer blog for the Kebos Lowlands has been released. This is in preparation for an upcoming content poll. Be sure you go and give it a read, it's linked in the description. The team also revealed Warding, a new skill proposal which would give you the ability to make all kinds of magical garments. Song of the Elves, the finale of the Elven series, was also announced, and alongside it the release of Prifdinus. And finally, a new event taking place in November was announced, PvP All-Stars. Taking place on November 24th, All-Stars will have 16 of the top old school content creators facing off in a 1 vs 1 series of fights, culminating in a dramatic best of 7 final. On this week's Q&A, the team answered a few questions regarding the updates revealed at RuneFest. Here is a quick montage of the key questions and answers to get you caught up.
Warding uses farming and hunter to gather materials, which are peer-to-play skills. How will this work with the free-to-play side of the skill? There'll be flax-like fields where lower tiers of fabrics can be picked, and the moths caught by a hunter will have a mob variant, and that was his. That will also drop silk. So that was his response to that. So there will be other ways to get that. Would you consider moving enchant spells, such as those for bolts and jewellery, from the standard spellbook to warding?
It's certainly not something that's integral to warding in any capacity.
How long will the wards you draw on the ground last for? It would come down to balancing, but certainly long enough not to be annoying, was his response. With the additions of the Farming Guild and Prifdinus, there'll be 2 new herb patches, bringing the total to 10. Do you feel there may be too many herb patches being added?
If too many herbs start coming in from farming, people will stop farming because people don't do it for XP, people do it for monetary return. I think realistically, after Farming Guild and Prif, we probably do want to lay off.
In what other ways do you think warding is likely to be fleshed out in the future to benefit players long term? The talk was to say how the skill works more than anything, and the rewards were just a little taste, and the stuff that you guys have been asking for. I've seen some good stuff. The elemental rose is a cool idea, I like that.
Kebos is what we're doing first. That is the one that is set for the start of the year. Warding and Song of the Elves are going to come later, so there's a lot more time to gather feedback. So that's why they don't seem as solid at the moment, because they're not. They're still much rougher concepts compared to Kebos, so there's plenty of time for people to get their ideas in for both of those.
And one last reminder, Jagex are currently running a survey to ask old school players what OSRS means to you, and to hear about what other games and activities you spend your time on. Participating in the survey gives you a chance to win some prizes, but you only have until October 20th to do so. You can find a link with all of the info in the description. And to finish off the recap, let's take a look at the community spotlight. This week's spotlight is the tragic tale of Davfo from Reddit. Davfo travelled thousands of miles from the US, took the train to Farnborough, 2 buses from his Airbnb to the RuneFest venue, and on the final stretch, crossing the last street needed to get to the event, he was hit by a car. Now, Davfo is okay, but sadly he wasn't able to make the event, and I've been able to confirm with Mod Lottie that he actually had the worst RNG out of all RuneFest attendants. After Davfo's unfortunate story reached the front page of Reddit, a few JMods caught wind and ended up paying him a visit. So hopefully it wasn't all bad, and hopefully Davfo makes a full recovery. Anyway, that is all for this recap. Thank you all for watching, have a great week, and I will see you next Friday.